Hello everybody, Wyatt Tomlin here, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to be focusing on two focal topic points. One, Kamala Harris's extreme boost in the polls and how successful she has gained momentum since President Biden has dropped out of the race. She is leading in the polls by 2%. This is one topic. And the other topic is Trump, who backpedaled out of the original set debate, rearranging and premeditating another debate, which is unofficial, and disregarding the one he already promised to, or already agreed to participate in on September the 10th of 2024 with the Democratic nominee, who was President Biden then, and of course now is Kamala Harris. So just to begin, here is the national polls, August 3rd, which is today. We are seeing a huge spike. Kamala Harris is absolutely propelling her numbers since this campaign initiated. The latest poll has her up 5% in the national polling average, and this is a pretty compatible and reliable source right here, and this is including Robert F. Kennedy, so it's probably the most efficient, because he is, as most of you know, the independent candidate in this race. And before, he was taking votes away from Biden, and he still might be taking votes away from Kamala Harris, but that is not stopping her from having a 5% lead over him, Donald Trump, in the national spotlight and within major swing states. And we are going to be reviewing that today. So basically, we're going to be looking at some of the polls right here. So we're going to take a look at the state of Michigan, and I was pretty astounded by this. This is really, really remarkable here. The latest poll had, this is a Republican poll, Republican intern poll, so I'm going to disregard this poll. This is a tie, and it's a Republican poll. And we have a Bloomberg Morning Consult poll conducted from July 24th to the 28th with around 700 registered voters, and it shows an 11-point lead for Kamala Harris. Okay, it's not going to be an 11-point victory come November over Donald Trump. I'm going to say that right now, it's not going to be. But this is a very, very pragmatic sign. This is a very good sign for the Harris campaign to have during this period of time, especially after, 2 weeks of her being the presumptive Democratic nominee ahead of this election and running against Donald Trump. This is really, really good news for the Harris campaign. So this is one of many states that have been showing very, very propitious news towards Kamala Harris. We have the state of Pennsylvania with its 19 crucial electoral votes, and keep in mind, these are states that will be the decisive factor in this election. And a Democratic poll, yes, did have Trump in the lead in the last one, but we're seeing a 3-point lead in a Republican poll, okay, a Republican poll that was sponsored and conducted by Republicans. And this one was sponsored by Democrats. So if you average this out, let's say we take that away and average these out, Kamala Harris wins by 2% based on these polls combined. And that's not even including this other poll. And I want to take a moment to actually show how divergent the numbers are for Kamala Harris, as they were not with President Biden when he was still in the race. We are seeing a Kamala Harris massive funding for grassroots funding. This is grassroots fundraisers within July, just July, the month of July alone. And Kamala Harris has almost quadruple the amount, triple the amount, not quadruple, triple the amount of Donald Trump's monthly attributes to his campaign, contributions to his campaign, while Kamala Harris has 310 million, the most. It's record-breaking for the most grassroots fundraisers of any presidential campaign in history within a single month. But we still have three sizable months away until the election, so we cannot, and I am encouraging all Democrats that are voting for Kamala Harris and everybody who's working to help her get elected in this campaign, we must not be complacent in this election. We are still the underdogs in this race, as Kamala Harris said in her Atlanta rally in Georgia, in Atlanta. She said we are still the underdogs in this race, which is absolutely true, and we should continue to treat this race as if we are the underdogs in this race, because this race is far from over. We still have a staggering 3 months left of this presidential campaign, and anything could happen, which hopefully that'll be in Kamala Harris's favor, and I would not see, from what I see today, I don't know why it would not be in her favor, and I am heavily projecting that it's going to end up swaying in her favor even more as time comes. But just all these polls lately, I mean, President Biden was not leading Donald Trump. He was losing by like 2 to 3%. And we'll take a look at that right here. It shows the previously published polling averages for the Biden campaign. You could see Donald Trump ahead of President Biden when Biden was in the race. Biden's 3 points under, under Trump. And Kennedy was at 8%, almost 9%, 8.7%. And now Kennedy's numbers have vanished pretty much. They're down to about 6%, and Kamala Harris has taken the lead. It's because those key voters who wanted change, who wanted a younger candidate, who wanted somebody who speaks coherent sentences and does not mess up, and is very intelligible on what they're saying and consistent with what they're saying. And Biden did slip up, and it is not his fault. It is not his fault. He's old. He is an older candidate, and so is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is an old candidate too, and Donald Trump is more incompetent than Biden would ever was. I mean, Biden didn't say bizarre things. He didn't fake an orgasm at his rallies, which Trump did several times. He faked an orgasm and grotesquely moaned throughout his rally.
And a mother and father are screaming, "You got it! You got it, darling. I'm so proud of my girl." And she gets up, and her parents are so proud. 19 years! She's almost here.
I don't know what that was about, but that's weird, first of all, which is kind of what the Harris campaign has been defining the Trump campaign as, just plain old weird, which it is. I mean, it is really weird. All of the things that are going on, it's like Hulk Hogan ripping off his shirt and screaming at the top of his lungs, saying that they shot my hero, Donald Trump, and yelling like a loud, maniacal, insane asylum escapee.
At my hero. And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
But you don't see that with Kamala Harris's campaign. But they're just weird. J.D. Vance is weird too. And I don't know if it's true, but there's been allegations or something where I think J.D. Vance made some remark about having a sexual affair with a couch, having sex with a couch. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but it is true. That's what he said. But right here is oh, not that yet. Not that. Where is it? Oh, right here. So this is huge. Oh, and real quick, I just want to say something real quick about these numbers when it comes to the money that Kamala Harris's campaign has raised and has obtained during fundraising. This number right here, this 310 million, is not even including. Okay, I want to make this clear. This is not even including all the money previous from the Biden campaign. From Biden's campaign, Biden raised a very fairly large amount of money also when he was in the race. This is not including that. So this will be even a bigger number, a more sufficient number and promising number when all of President Biden's campaign contributions are given to Kamala Harris and are used as a beneficiary for her campaign and are divest from President Biden's fundraising and derived to the Harris campaign. So that is also going to ascend her chances of winning this election, and I'm hoping she does very much, very much. But this is enthusiasm with voter enthusiasm. Biden supporters were supporting Biden, but they only 37% were actually enthusiastic about him, as contrast to Kamala Harris's 81% of people voting for Kamala Harris, people who are supporting her in this election, they are 81% of them are excited about her, and they're motivated to vote. They feel mobilized. They feel like they're heard because Biden answered. Biden delivered on what people were asking him to do. People asked him to step down over and over and over again. Independent voters, some of his own supporters asked him to step down for the better of the country, and also because he had a minimal chance of defeating Donald Trump. As the polls suggested and the pundits suggested, he was down in every single swing state. But we are seeing that in reverse now that Harris has announced her campaign. So, bringing me to that, I'm going to go to some other states, like some what can be considered harder states to win for Kamala Harris, more complicit states, which includes Wisconsin. Wisconsin, a Republican poll conducted by a Republican coalition, had Kamala Harris over Donald Trump, defeating Donald Trump by 2%, 48% to 48% to Donald Trump's 46%, and another 2% in this Bloomberg Morning Consult poll. And I like how she's only down by 1% in a Fox News poll. That's not good. That's not very auspicious for the Trump campaign. I'm just going to say that right now. But this is Biden announcing. This was Biden, okay? This is Kamala Harris. This was hypothetical polling after, as you can see, this bar. Everything before this bar was hypothetical. So as you can see, Kamala Harris was trailing in the hypothetical polling, but she brought out the base when she was officially the nominee. Because this was all hypothetical. This was all hypothetical. And now that it's not hypothetical, Donald Trump has only came on top by 1% in one poll since Kamala Harris has entered the race. The other being tied. The other closest poll being tied. And that poll that had Trump a lead, that's Fox News. That's Fox News. But yeah, Wisconsin is definitely seeing some optimistic news for Kamala Harris's campaign. If we go to the state of Nevada, which has not seen President Biden or Kamala Harris in any poll whatsoever take the lead, has finally seen her take the lead. And she's up by 2 points in this Bloomberg Morning Consult poll. Nevada has shifted to the right when it comes to this presidential race. I'm talking probably about a year. Donald Trump has been ahead of Joe Biden in these polls in the state of Nevada. And in all of these polls that were hypothetical at the time, shown that she was also trailing in the state of Nevada by like 10%, 5%, 7%, 8%. These were not very good margins or good percentages for the Harris campaign or the Biden campaign. But this is big news. This is big news. I don't even understand. I mean, people should really consider this when they're thinking about who's going to win. And this is not even including the debates, which brings me to my next topic after I mention 2 other states. Arizona, which we've also seen Kamala Harris have a boost in the poll and overtake Donald Trump in the poll in that state. There, and in the state of Georgia, which, like I said, she hit off her campaign with Megan Thee Stallion. I believe that's her name. She's the one who did that viral TikTok song, "I'm a Savage," that song. And that definitely energized the crowd by a lot, and nobody can deny that. look at this. A poll came out. This is the same thing with Nevada. Same thing as Nevada. Kamala Harris and Biden, hypothetical and non-hypothetical, have not overtaken Trump in months, maybe even a year. It's been a long time since a Democratic nominee has, in the presidential race for 2024, has defeated Donald Trump. It was tied in this one, and now she finally has. This is good news. This is really good news. And the Trump campaign should be very dismayed about this and concerned about their numbers, because people are realizing Donald Trump is the old boring guy now that that does not resonate in with voters. But this brings me to my next topic, which I am about to get into right here. As most of you have known already, Donald Trump infamously withdrew and backpedaled out of the presidential debate, and saying that he will not be participating in the debate on September 10th because Kamala Harris is not officially the Democratic nominee. That was his excuse, and that, quote, Democrats could still change their mind. Okay? Wow. So this is the same guy who said anytime, any place, first of all, when President Biden was in the race. And he said this as early as, what, April or March of 23 last year, 2020, or not, excuse me, not 23, 24, so this year. But he said this as early as April and March of 2024. But people, I guess, forgot to read the fine print that that was added as an addition, unless I'm too scared, which is exactly what is happening now. He said anywhere, anytime, in any place, but except that does not mean on ABC on September 10th. So that's not anywhere, anytime, or any place, according to him. And it's convenient how it happens like that. But he caved, first of all. He caved and agreed to the ABC debate. He said, this is what he said a couple of days ago. He said that he will debate Kamala Harris. He caved in, and he said he would debate Kamala Harris. But now he is pulling out of the debate again and kind of organizing his own little debate on Fox News, because he's making these pitiable excuses about debating Kamala Harris on ABC, which is, it's just so unearthly. But here's the article. Trump agrees to debate Kamala Harris on Fox News. So this is journalistic malpractice. This guy right here, he's a scab right here. Let's land in mine, because this is not accurately portraying what Donald Trump is doing. He is not agreeing to anything. He is orchestrating and organizing his very own debate to his exact liking. And he wants to fill the crowd with his supporters. He wants to fill this crowd with his supporters. He wants to have his own picked. He wants to pick his own moderator, the moderator of the debate, and have it on Fox News, which was sued for couple $200 million, something like that, for misinformation and lying about the 2020 election. So are we really here right now? Is this where we're at in this campaign? But the Kamala Harris campaign is standing their ground, and they are saying that they are debating on September 10th whether Donald Trump shows up or not. And they released this statement that I will read to you on the screen. This is a statement from the Kamala Harris campaign. Donald Trump is running scared and is trying to back out of the debate he already agreed to, and is running straight to Fox News to bail him out, because we all know that they're just going to throw him softball after softball, which they've done in interviews and all this other stuff. They've packed the crowd with all these loyalist and extremist cultists who are obsessed with Donald Trump, and they don't add any people who are swing voters or independents. They fill it all with MAGA people. So, and she went on to say, or the campaign went on to say, he needs to stop playing games and show up to the debate that he committed to on September the 10th. The vice president will be there on one way or another to take the opportunity to speak to a primetime national audience. We're happy to discuss further debates after the one both candidates have already agreed to, which, like I said previously mentioned, Donald Trump and his campaign did agree to the September debate. They did agree to it. And so did President Biden's campaign when he was there, and now Kamala Harris's campaign is doing it. So now he's going to try and disrupt everything by scrambling. He's scrambling all over the place to try and get out of this debate with Kamala Harris. And that's very clear. And if he were to debate Kamala Harris, he wants to do it on his preferred news organization, which is going to, I don't know, be biased towards him, which they're always biased towards him. And they're going to come up with these questions that, I don't know, maybe even racist questions if Kamala Harris were to be on that debate stage in Fox News. But she's not going to, because she is not going to cave. She's not recruitive, and doing that, she's not going to step aside from what they've both already committed to, and that's exactly what she should do. But I just wanted to point out something real quick. This is a perfect example. This exemplifies exactly what I'm talking about, of why he wants this. Because during the Libertarian National Convention, which Donald Trump appeared at, he appeared at the Libertarian National Convention to speak to the crowd, which was filled predominantly with libertarians, which is why it's called Libertarian National Convention. But as we know, a group of his supporters sat in the front row towards the stage and roared and cheered for him every time he spoke. Every time Trump spoke, they roared and cheered and screamed for him, to present the duplicitous narrative that the libertarians were cheering Donald Trump, even though they were not. Okay, they were not cheering for Donald Trump. They were booing him. So after that, the debates, the convention's organizers, the Libertarian Convention's organizers, imposed a regulation making it so only delegates for the Libertarian National Convention who attended the full session could sit within the first 4 rows. And then guess what happened after that? Trump went back to the Libertarian National Convention and he got booed off the stage because people who were legitimately libertarians sat within the 4 front rows, and he got ruthlessly and mercilessly booed off the stage.
Last night, a far less friendly reception than Trump typically sees at his own rallies. The crowd at the Libertarian National Convention booing the former president.
Combine with us. You have to combine with us. We cannot give crooked Joe Biden 4 more years. The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for President of the United States. Whoa.
But we all know he's going to turn this around, and he's going to try and divert the attention off of him onto Kamala Harris, and he's going to spin it and say that Kamala Harris is the one backing out of the debate, even though both of the candidates once again agreed to that debate and on September 10th, not on September 4th, on the foe of all news organizations, Fox News. But he's trying to weasel a way around his debate and to try to get all these softball questions and praising. He gets literally praised on Fox News on a daily basis. And here's another thing. Donald Trump and his campaign and the Republicans are always talking about the media being biased and all this stuff. And he said he doesn't. Okay, so first of all, it was Kamala Harris wasn't officially the nominee. That was the first excuse. Now it's because ABC is biased and he doesn't like ABC and they're fake news and they're crooked news and he doesn't want to participate in a debate with them. But I find that extremely fascinating right here, because the Republican National Convention in 2022, in April of 22, unanimously voted to withdraw from the debate commission that has sponsored presidential debates and has hosted presidential debates for 40 plus years. The Republicans did that. They did that. So now it has to be from somebody like ABC or CNN or somebody like that. But to get the point across to these Trump supporters, this would be convenient if they didn't play around like this and play their little games. So this is completely this contradicts itself. It really does. It contradicts itself. He is complaining that he doesn't want to debate. Oh, he's whining because he doesn't want to debate on ABC because they're so biased. Yet he pulled out of the bipartisan debate commission that has sponsored it for 40 plus years, and nobody had ever had a problem with it, besides Donald Trump and the Republicans, the modern day Republicans. And I think we all know why Donald Trump is not doing this debate. Because if he were to debate Kamala Harris on the debate stage, his performance would be absolutely abysmal. Okay, it would not go down good in history for his campaign. And up to this election, he would throw lies after lies. He'd twist things. I mean, I'm talking a lot of lies. I can't even emphasize it enough that how much he lies. He said we have the best economy in the world under his administration. We did not. He said that he was the best for the black community since Abraham Lincoln. He was better, according to Donald Trump himself. He says he was better for black Americans than any other president, with the exception of Lincoln. So that when he says that, that's even including Lyndon B. Johnson, who literally signed the Civil Rights Act, granting black people from not being discriminated against and oppressed in stores and being kicked out and exiled for their race. But Donald Trump says that he is better for the black community than even him, which is just so. It's just so sad. It's pathetic that people support this guy. And I don't see anything changing anytime soon, actually, whatsoever. But this is his desired plan. He wants to take this and twist it to the point where he wants it, and it's not presidential. It's not something that a presidential candidate in normal times would have done. And also, not to mention, this is a rally from Kamala Harris. This may be what he's scared of too, because Kamala Harris has really went for Donald Trump's throat on in the public crowd alone. He knows, and his campaign both know that she's not going to be easy on him like Joe Biden was in that debate. She's not going to let him slide by. She's not going to fail to mention their accomplishments like the PACT Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan, capping the cost of insulin. And one lady who said that, who was interviewed or was at a rally, I believe at Bernie Sanders' rally, she spoke out and was thanking President Biden and Kamala Harris and Senate Democrats for lowering the cost of insulin. She had previously paid $300 a month for her insulin, and now she only pays $20 because President Biden and Bernie Sanders and Senate Democrats have worked strenuously to deliver this, and they have successfully done it. So they have a record to run on, and Kamala Harris, I think, will be very, very good at exercising that and displaying that during the debates, as she has during her rallies. Unlike President Biden, did say some of his accomplishments, but he didn't say his accomplishments in depth like he should have, and he didn't go on the attack with Donald Trump. So yeah, I think it's pretty pathetic. And there's going to be a massive nationwide discourse with the Trump supporters. They're going to try and spend it just like Donald Trump is, and they're going to use his exact words, because you know how Trump supporters repeat what Donald Trump says verbatim. But there's going to be a national conflict with voters across the country, and it's going to be brought up by Trump supporters. Trump supporters are going to try and say, "Oh, Donald Trump was the one who was not afraid to debate Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris is the one who backed out," when that's not true. It was already established that both of them were going to debate, and on the 10th. But now Donald Trump is weaseling his way and making his own little debate and designing it exactly how he anticipates and wants it to be. So there's going to be a lot of speculation and scrutiny over which one is the real debate, but the real debate is the one where Kamala Harris is sticking with. But I mean, just debate her. I mean, really, just debate Kamala Harris. I don't see her. You're scared of her. You're scared of a black woman prosecutor kicking your ass, frankly, was what the problem is. But yeah, Kamala Harris is boosting her lead in the polls, and she, as of now, is looking at if she's the favorite to win this race. And she's doing notably well in the Electoral College. She's winning in the states of Wisconsin. She won, like I said, in that poll in Michigan with its 15 electoral votes. She was over Donald Trump by 11%. And Pennsylvania, if she just wins those states, those 3 states alone, and Nebraska's second congressional district, she wins the election over Donald Trump. And that's not including the state of Arizona, where Mark Kelly might potentially be the running mate for presumptive Democratic nominee and Vice President Kamala Harris, which would definitely help her chances in that state. So we could say that she wins that state. And Georgia has came in play now, again, also because, like I said, she was leading in there in one of the most recent polls. And same with Nevada. I mean, she could win all the states Biden won, and probably one of the best case scenarios. But that's, as of now, I say Donald Trump probably still has the advantage in these 2 states, maybe even Wisconsin. But that case, she still wins the election nonetheless. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I just want to say, he's turning the course. Donald Trump is the world's biggest narcissist. He's a gaslighter. He is a swindler. He is a con man. I mean, it goes without saying that Donald Trump's profession, that's what it's been his entire life. Okay? That's what it's been. To try and twist things. To try and divert the attention off of him and spin it. And just gaslight his base. And his base just sucks it all up, too. They just suck it all up. But I am going on vacation tomorrow. I am waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I am leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I got to wake up before then. But we're going through Maryland, and we're going to North Carolina. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I haven't been on vacation in a while, and I need to get away. I'm going with my grandpa and my grandpa's girlfriend. So yeah, we're gonna go through Maryland. We're spending the night in Maryland the first day. We're leaving tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to be able to upload videos on my computer for a couple days because I'm going to be on vacation from the 4th to the 8th, I believe. 4th to 8th? Nah, not the 8th, probably the 7th, but nonetheless, it's still a timely amount, a good vacation. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.